Okay, welcome back. This is part two of lesson 5.1. Now we're going to look at some examples where we're going to solve some systems of linear equations. So for this example, solve the system of linear equations by graphing. We're going to graph y equals 2x plus 10 and y plus 3x equals 5. So one thing that'll be helpful is if we actually rearrange this slope-intercept form, y equals negative 3x plus 5, and now we can graph both of these equations. So for the first equation, the y-intercept is 10. So we can put a dot here at 10. And we can see that the slope is 2x. So that means every time we go over 1, we're going to go up 2. And so we can easily do that. We can go over 1, we can go up 2, and so you can see that we would have a line traveling in those directions. And then for the other line, we see that it has a y-intercept of 5, which will be right there on the graph. And it has a slope of negative 3, which means every time we go over 1, we're going to actually go down 3. So if we go over 1, we go down 1, 2, 3, go over at 1, and we can draw a line. And so now solving, we want to know, where do they intersect at? Well, they intersect at this point right here. That's their intersection point. And the question is, where is that? It's at about, let's see, over about negative 1 and up 8 is the intersection point for these two equations. Okay. Let's look at another example. We have y equals negative 2x minus 6. We have x plus 4y equals 4. So if we want to look at those again, it's always helpful to rearrange these equations into slope-intercept form. The first one's already in slope-intercept form. We're going to change the other one. Y is going to equal negative 1/4 x plus 1. And I got that because I subtracted x from both sides, brought that over, and then I divided x by 4 and the 4 by 4. So I get negative 4x. So let's go in and graph that. So again, when we're looking at the first line had a y-intercept of negative 6. That's going to be all the way down here, negative 6. And it has a slope of negative 2x. So that means every time, or I should say just negative 2, so that means every time we go over 1, we go down 2. And so that we could do that. The x-intercept for this is at about 4. So we can draw a line going through those points. And then our other equation was y equals negative 1/4 x plus 1. So that means the y-intercept is at 1. And every time we go down 1, we would, or I'm sorry, every time we go over 4, we would go down 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. There's our x-intercept. And now we can draw that line. And for some, it may help if you actually have a ruler handy to do this. And then we want to know, where is that point? And that point of intersection appears to be at about negative, although my line's a bit off, but it's supposed to be at negative 4 and 2. Okay? And those are our first couple of examples.